How we doing today, ladies and gentlemen? Just buffing out the last parts. Getting the live stream going today. So, do we wanna just get started with it? Is that how we think we want to do it? Let's get started with it right away. Let me make sure this is okay. Yeah, all right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sean Bon Jovi Show. My name is Sean Bon Jovi. Let's get started and let's watch some Draft League videos. Draft League replays? Fuck it. Whatever. Let's get started. Let's go and start with my match. Now, the first person to comment is you, Doogie. I'm not gonna make the only viewer watch them losing. That seems rude. So we won't start with this right away. Let's, we got Haymaker. No, we're not watching Hayden's replays anymore. We can watch this. All right, first match this week is gonna be Tylord versus the Wonder of You. This is a matchup we've already seen once this season. They played in the weekly or the seasonal cross division match where you play your equal in the other division. So first place plays first place, last place plays last place. I think at the time these two were both first or second place in their divisions. And now, just by happenstance, they are this week's cross-division matchup. So we have our sort of stally Trick Room gimmick team versus the current #1 player in the league and our reigning champion. So, let's get some music going and get into the match. All right, got the music going. What kind of leads are we seeing? Ooh, lots of people in the chat. Looks like this was a popular match this week. We had turn 1 Swords Dance versus an unaware Clodsire. Gets the taunt down, preventing any further spikes from going up. But that Earthquake doing significant damage to the Drapion. The knockoff comes out, chunking the Clodsire. But it looks like Drapion is going to be able to win this matchup. And the Wonder of You knows it, switches into the Mienshao. Who gets one-shotted, is unable to trigger its regenerator since obviously it's fainted to try and come back. Looks like it might be an early sweep. But the Ditto comes out and tries to go for a counter sweep, and that is its purpose, but doesn't manage to snag the KO. But in fact gets KO'd back. Pretty much everyone on the Wonder of You's team is getting KO'd by this thing. So yeah, is this game already? Is this Life Orb? Is it just dead? It's not Life Orb. So yeah, that's game. This is a really fast sweep, huh? Holy shit. I mean, this is in the conversation for fastest sweeps of all time in the league. Houndstone has nothing it can do versus a Regigigas. Looks like it might be choice lock of some sort. I think what the fastest sweep of all time in the league was 11 turns set by me. This is really bad. I mean, he's got some body presses. He's able to slow it down a little bit, but that is a disgusting 6-0 to end the game. that was lightning fast. We have... Alright, so we only have 3 replays we can watch this week as of right now. Love when players play. So this game, I think Dugio had a giant lead in the beginning. All right, let me restart. This game is me, obviously, Sean Bon Jovi versus Dugio, and I thought it was an interesting one to watch. Dugio immediately rips a hypnosis that lands right at the beginning, and I feel like I'm immediately on my back foot, and Dugio's kind of driving at the start of this match. He gets the sleep down, he gets his substitute up, he even gets a nasty plot off here, but last second I decided to make this a defensive Moltres and put U-turn on it, which sets me up perfectly, allowing me to U-turn and break the substitute while going into my Choice Scarf Breloom, which was speed creeped to beat Darkrai by 1. So, yep, all of my Pokemon are speed creeped to Darkrai, which is pretty much valueless now that Darkrai is dead, but it is a little fun fact. So I get the close combat, and we immediately see Annihilate, and I felt like my Moltres was a decent answer to it. The Dark Flying type is pretty good versus a Fighting Ghost type. But it immediately gets a huge chunk. The Ice Punch was a good call, right? So he probably ran the Ice Punch for what I'm predicting it was probably for Landorus T originally. You know, the quad effectiveness. It's nice because it's quad effective versus Landorus, and Landorus likes to come in versus the Annihilate because of the Intimidate. So that's why I'm guessing the Ice Punch was there, but it also manages to catch Moltres perfectly. And we see the critical hit drops me low enough to trigger my Berserk, and at this point, I didn't like that hurt me so badly, but I kind of felt good about the fact that it triggered my Berserk. And so I'm feeling confident that this attack is going to be able to KO the Annihilate. Until the second Ice Punch comes out, doesn't kill because of, you know, it doesn't crit this time, but it does manage to get the freeze and effectively KO the Moltres. So Moltres was useless this game. It was my intended Annihilate answer, and I'm just, at this point, I'm struggling, not sure how I'm going to beat the Annihilate. So I go back into my Scarf Breloom and just put it to sleep before it's any more of a problem for my team. At that point, I decide my Iron Moth is going to be super good in this game, and I need to get it alive somehow. I think maybe we could just both sleep away our sleep turns together, and I'll just rip a Choice Specs Overheat and Oko the Annihilate, is my thought. But apparently that only does 79% damage. Not nearly as much as I thought it would, as he has a 4 times effective Earthquake and just one-shots my Iron Moth. So now I'm down 4 to 5 at this point. I'm not feeling good, but I go into my Scarf Breloom, and I'm able to pick up a Seed Bomb KO that ties the game. At which point I go into my Hitmontop, which it honestly was just a huge misplay. I was paranoid that this was going to be like a Flamethrower special attacking Altaria, and I thought Dugio was going to read my Metagross play, so I went into the Hitmontop. Now, Hitmontop is able to take the Hyper Voice only because Dugio didn't Mega Evolve here. Had Dugio Mega Evolved and hit me with that Hyper Voice, that would have been probably a KO on Hitmontop, because it's not Assault Vest Hitmontop. It's actually Choice Band, Terra Steel, Bullet Punch. This is an offensive Hitmontop this week, and it does a number. Look at that, even doing 20% to an Aegislash, which isn't great damage, but it's better than I would have expected, personally. So he King's Shield, trying to play a little defensive, but I get the Spore off the next turn. Aegislash is asleep, and I'm looking to knock something off here. I think, right? I switch into Lando as he switches into the Dreadnought on the same turn. Once again, a U-turn into a Dark type, doing a ton of damage. And then I go into my Hitmontop, and Hitmontop does a ton of work for me. Just cleaning up late game with these choice-banded bullet punches. I believe it gets a KO on the Darmanitan Galar and the Altaria at the end as well. But yeah, Hitmontop managed to pick up 2 KOs? No, it just did a ton to Mega Altaria and gets the KO on Dreadnought. So there's a little interesting matchup right here that just happened on screen while I was talking. Check this out. Spore, a status move, can apparently go through King's Shield, right? Look at this right here. He King Shields, I click Spore, he goes to bed. I guess King's Shield only protects from attacks, because if he had a regular protect, it would have prevented my Spore. But because it was King's Shield, he still went to sleep. I actually didn't know about that interaction until this game. More bullet punches chipping the Aegislash. It looks like I'm just trying to give away my Hitmontop? No, I see what I was doing. I was just getting chip while I could, expecting him to sleep, and then trying to switch on the turn that he wakes up. That's what I did there. And then a Seed Bomb doing 40% to Aegislash is honestly far more than I ever expected it to. So I sack the Breloom here. Part of me considered going into Hitmontop or Metagross here and trying to just like start bullet punching and maybe saving the Breloom. But I don't know, it just felt like the safer play to let him take my Breloom and go into my 2 priority bullet punchers and just shred the Altaria and the Darmanitan for free without really making a risky play. So we get those KOs, and that is the game. All right, we only have one more replay this week. We are watching David versus Hazy BB, 2 of the most hyper offensive teams in the league. I'm just not feeling it this week. Is that bad to say on stream? Definitely cutting it out when this video goes live. I hope we get something interesting here so I can thumbnail one of these matches, because these are all kind of snoozes, I guess. Maybe the Tylords match was a super fast sweep. That could be a thumbnail. Mega Evolve is my nemesis. Dude, it's not just you, honestly. Like, that is a kryptonite for a lot of new players. They just forget to click the Mega Evolve button. They forget to click their Z move. Why did it delete Tyler's comment? Could have did it in 9 turns, but I couldn't risk the Scarf. Why did it remove that comment? Okay. Alright, anyway. We have Team David versus Team Hazy, 2 hyper offense teams. And for the first time this season, maybe, David doesn't lead with the Grimmsnarl like he's done every other week. And he's actually using his Victini. So it looks like he's finally done a little adjusting. There's no Dracovish this week. A lead V-Create with the Victini, immediately picking up a KO on maybe Hazy's most dangerous Pokemon, and doing a considerable chunk to Gliscor. But Victini goes down before it can find any more value. As the Grimmsnarl now comes out, gets the taunt down, prevents the Toxic, but giving Gliscor time to heal. But instead of taking those turns to heal, he switches out, not getting that Toxic Orb time. T-Tar comes out Rock Blasting. I actually agree with the choice of Rock Blast. I think it's maybe the best rock move on T-Tar, just because so many rock moves suck. Like, his other options are Stone Edge and Rock Slide, and they kind of suck. So he's trying to taunt the T-Tar, but T-Tar is a Dark type, meaning it's immune to the Prankster taunt. As he's just firing off these Rock Blasts, turn over turn. And David is doing, once again, what he did last week. He's just petrified of switching, right? He could easily switch into his Melmetal here and just start blowing Hazy's team up. But instead, he waits to get KO'd to come in for free, right? That's a huge mistake. Melmetal could be ripping this team in half and would have taken that Rock Blast with ease. Melmetal would have taken maybe 11% from that attack. You need to be switching. You can't just rely on your opponent to KO you to switch. This is grade school stuff, you know? As Gliscor's coming in here, it's ripping Earthquakes, getting good KOs. Gliscor can easily KO this. I don't know why I said that. That's not true. Obviously, a Cloyster beats a Gliscor. Ugh. Personally, I would have gone Scizor here, maybe like ripped a Bullet Punch or something. Superpower does a giant amount of damage to the Melmetal, far more than I would have expected. And actually, despite the attack drops from Superpower, it manages to keep enough power to get the Melmetal KO. That's huge. Now the Superpower's attack drops are really starting to affect it. Yeah, that's not doing a lot to a Regidrago, who has a massive HP stat. And then he's locked into Outrage. He has to use that for another turn or two. And Scizor is an Outrage resist, so a good switch choice for Hazy BB. Even with the resist and Scizor's defensive stat, that Outrage still did 48%. That's a freaking lot, honestly. That's a ton. Now we have the Cloyster versus the Blaziken. Wow, look at that. The Blaziken just manages to outspeed and get the KO. Well done. That was a barn burner. That came down right to the end. I enjoyed that. You didn't realize it lowers attack? Yeah. Yeah, Superpower, you don't really want to use it more than 1 or 2 turns in a row. Do we have any more matches for me to watch? Because, clock's ticking. I'm supposed to be playing RuneScape with my boys. I will, I'll go see if any matches are close to being done. Oh yeah, this is almost over. I'll wait for that replay. We'll watch that. I got a protein shake here today that has collagen in it. I heard this makes it super thick and gross. Let's see. I actually don't use it, but I only put like half of a full scoop in. Maybe that's it. Also, collagen is, I think it's supposed to be good for like your fingernails and skin and hair and stuff. But also, it just has like a decent protein count on it. I looked at it. 1 scoop of collagen is 6 grams of protein, which is pretty fucking noticeable. I didn't know that. I was impressed. All right, here we go. We got another replay. So our last match of the day is going to be the Black Dog versus Amateurs Only. And I got to say, I'm super excited for this matchup. You know, the Black Dog is obviously, he's my brother. And it's Mother's Day weekend. And so we were chopping it up, talking team building all weekend. And this is an interesting matchup. I don't know who it's going to go to for the victory. But I honestly think it can go either way. Both players have a lot of heat that they can bring to this match. So we'll turn off the main camera. And we'll watch this match because I am excited. So, we get the lead Garchomp versus the lead Mega Pinsir. I would be getting out in that situation as well. Amateurs Only sets up the Stealth Rocks as the Green Ranger comes out. Gets a nice Future Sight off, the Black Dog does. He was loving those Future Sights last week. As Amateurs Only gets a Leech Seed up as the Latios switches out. So, the Goldengo taking an Aerial 8 boosted quick attack, lots of damage, and the Future Sight coming out, but still only really taking, what was that, like 22% damage? 32? Yeah, not a lot. The Flash Cannon, damn near one-hit KOing the Abomasnow, who is super important to the Amateurs Only, and then Volt switching out, meaning once this Aurora Veil is gone, there's no more screens for Amateurs Only, and that's going to be huge for the Black Dog. Taking away a lot of the bulk on his opponent's team, making it a lot easier for him to get these KOs. That's a ton of damage. Would you look at that? Whoo! Okay, so the Aurora Veil is up. That is increasing, that's like what, doubling the special defense and physical defense of Amateurs Only. Yet despite that, Latios just has pure power, rips a Draco that smashes through those screens and gets a 100% one-hit KO. That was damage I wasn't expecting, if I'm being honest. I thought Naganadel could be bulkier than that. But the Quaquaval, the Quaquaval, I don't know how to pronounce that. The Dancing Duck is on the field and ready to be a menace. The Flutter Mane comes out. Does that threaten? Not at all. One hit KO'd as the Quaquaval Aqua Steps, getting the speed boost and the Moxie boost. Now it's looking dangerous. It's looking ready to hit someone. Ice Spinner, one hit KOs the Latios. Pinsir, almost KO'd by the Stealth Rocks. Quick attacks. It quick attacks, but it doesn't do enough damage. Mostly because of the screens, right? But even without the screens, that still isn't KOing. And Amateurs Only wisely uses this just death fodder to Aqua Step again, boosting the speed more, as if it needs it. It's getting Moxie boost, and this is starting to look ugly really quickly. The close combat gets ripped. Now Quaquaval just has way too many boosts, right? It's got speed, it's got attack, but it has lower defenses, and this Lucario has a lot of priority. The Bullet Punch doing 39%. It is not enough, and it gets KO'd. Down goes the El Banditoad, and we have LeBron James, the Great Tusk. Old man cannot tank. No way. Aqua Step, one hit KOs. GG's all around. Tyler says Aurora Veil meta this year. Yeah, 3 people using it. There's still a couple Aurora Veil setters floating around if you guys want to draft one, if you're watching. Aurorus is legal and can Terra. All the Aurora Veil setters can Terra except for Mega Obama Snow. Oh, and Ninetales. Yeah, Aurorus is legal, and the Ice Cream Cone, it can Terra. Yeah, you were up 2-0 and got reverse swept. That was, it did look very good for you early on. That thing just ripped. Honestly, that's one of those Pokemon that's probably way too low of point value. I think he got that thing for like 13 or 14. It's freaking crazy. Anyway, yeah. Look at 22 minutes this week because just no replays in. Anyway, I'm going to cut the stream there. I got some RuneScape to play. See you guys.